Buongiorno! Today I'm gonna be doing my November wrap-up. I only read 5 books in November. I don't know how that happened. I did read a lot of really great books in November. It's editing me because I forgot to talk about 2 books actually. So the real first book that I read in November was actually House of Salt and Sorrow by Erin A. Craig. This is a 12 Dancing Princesses retelling and it's such a creepy one. Oh my god, this one freaked me out so much. I love 12 Dancing Princesses retellings. Like, oh my god, I love reading them. And this one just blew me away. It was so unique. Like a lot of the 12 Dancing Princesses stories don't really focus on what's going on with the princesses. The main character just kind of gets swept into everything and somehow manages to save everyone. But this one was more realistic and I really loved it. And so creepy. Oh my god, this was perfect for spooky season. I gave this 4 stars and oh my god, the audiobook was incredible too. Like it made it even scarier. I loved this one. I can't believe I forgot to talk about it. And another one that I am so sad about, but I actually DNF'd this book. I'm really sad about it. Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. I know. Don't unsubscribe yet. So excited to read this. Lesbian necromancers in space. Oh my god, that sounds amazing. And it's Rhiannon's favorite book from Crescent Moon Reads. Like this is their favorite book ever. Like they got a tattoo about it and everything. Like they love it so much. And so many other people loved it. Like so many people, I trust their opinion. They loved this book. So I seriously thought I was gonna love this and I didn't. And it was just so heartbreaking. Oh my god. I only got about 60 pages into the book and then I just couldn't read it anymore. This book uses so much like made up vocabulary and words about this world and none of it is explained. You know, sometimes I actually do really love reading a story where you just kind of get thrown into it and you have to figure everything out as you go. But this one made me really annoyed and frustrated because I was so confused. I had no idea what was going on. So frustrated and I just couldn't read this book anymore. I realized I can't be the only one who thought like this, but literally all of the reviews were so good for this book. So I finally found a bad review of this book and I mean, it's a really great review, but I mean, it's a negative review of this book and oh my god, they basically had the exact same opinions about this book as I did, but they actually finished the book and they said that the book did not get better. The only like the last like 100 or so pages got better and I just didn't see the point in reading a book that I really was not enjoying only to maybe like the last 100 pages. And by the way, this book is like 500 pages, so I'd have to read like 400 pages before I got to read that like 100 pages that were good and I just did not want to do that. So I just decided to DNF this book and I am so sad about this. I just had such high hopes for this book and I can't believe I did not like it. It made me so sad. This is definitely like my most disappointing DNF of the year, but oh my god, I'm so sad. Anyways, let's go back to the regular video. First book I read is Unlearn 101 Simple Truths for a Better Life by Humble the Poet. So I really love Humble. Like I love his YouTube videos and when I found out that his book was going to be published in America because he's Canadian, I was really excited about it. I ordered the audiobook and the physical book from my library and I read it in one sitting. It was really good. This is like a self-help book, but mainly I read it because I love Humble and I love his videos. If you're looking for something like revolutionary or different, this is not the place for that. A lot of stuff he says is stuff that is just said a lot. There's nothing new in this, but I think what's new about this and what was really cool about it is just Humble's voice was really present in this book. Like I could just hear Humble speaking and also I was listening to the audiobook while reading, so once more I could hear Humble speaking, but even when I was just reading it, like I could really hear his voice. He has such a unique voice, a unique perspective on things, so even though he says a lot of similar self-help stuff, there's nothing new in this. I think his perspective on those things is really interesting. So if you like self-help books, if you like Humble, I definitely recommend this book, but don't go into it expecting like revolutionary concepts of self-help. There's a lot of stuff that is said a lot in this book, but I think Humble's perspective on them is what really makes a big difference. Next, I read Becoming by Michelle Obama. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to read this, well, because it's a 19-hour audiobook and I don't know, I didn't know if I wanted to commit to it, but I heard a lot of really great things about it from other fellow booktubers and just the book community in general. And I love Michelle Obama so much, like, oh, what a queen, I adore her. So I got on hold, I put on hold the 19-hour audiobook from my library, and it finally came in. I didn't get a chance to listen to it till the very last week when it was due, so I was like speed binge reading this audiobook throughout the whole week, 19 hours in a week. It was a lot, but it was so good. Michelle Obama just told her story with just such raw honesty. It didn't hold back a lot of things. She was really honest about her experiences, and she really told like a lot about her life. It was really interesting. Like, I didn't expect her to say so much about her life, like about her childhood, her family, things about in the White House. Like, she really like went all in for her story, and it was just beautiful. I love the Obamas. I just love them so much. I miss them. Barack actually wrote kind of his own autobiography too, but it only really talks about his like roots and his father. So, and he narrates the audiobook too, so I put that one on hold too. I really loved this one. It was amazing. And I really loved how she touched on how difficult it was to be a Black woman in the White House, and how people just tore her apart for every little thing. Like, it broke my heart to hear about how difficult it was. The horrible things people told her because she was a Black woman, and just because she was a woman in general. One of the things that really stuck to me is she talked about how when she was in the White House, she always had to have a stylist and a makeup person behind her, because she could never walk out without looking like picture perfect. Whereas Barack, he could literally pull off the same suit every single day and wear that, and he was fine. And she talked about how behind every successful woman, there is a stylist and a makeup person that they have to pay for themselves because of society's unfair double standards for women. Just done so many amazing things in her life, and it was incredible reading her story told through her own words. 5 out of 5 stars without a doubt. And this was so well written too. It just kind of inspired me to write. Like, you know those books that are just so well written, so beautifully crafted that it just makes you want to write. Like, this was one of those books. Like, I didn't expect to love this book so much, but I did. It was incredible, and I highly recommend it if you love Michelle. If you love autobiographies, this is definitely one of the best ones I've ever read. Next, I read 30 Dates in 30 Days by Elle Spencer. You might not know what this book is. So basically, this is a female romance published by this LGBT only imprint. I was really excited when I found out about this book. So basically, it's about this lawyer in her 30s, and she really wants to get married and has kids, but for the last like 10 years, she's been really focused on her career and on making partner at her law firm, and she hasn't had time for dating. And so her assistant sets up for her 30 dates in 30 days with the scope of her finding love of her life. So every day she goes on a date with a different woman. While this wasn't the most well-written book that I've read in my life, like, I mean, it wasn't badly written. It was just sometimes the writing was a little amateur, and sometimes the dialogue was a little cheesy. The characterization was like barely there. This wasn't the best well-written book, or the characters were super well developed or fleshed out. It was so much fun. Like, all of the dates she went on, some of the dates were like really like extreme and like really funny, and like it was just such a fun story. Like, I had so much fun reading this, and when she finally finds the girl that she really loves and wants to be with, it was so cute, and I shipped them so hard, and it was just really cute. I really love this, and I definitely would read from this imprint again or from this author. She got an arc of this from the publisher, so thank you, publisher, for sending me an arc, but I did read it after the book was out. I really loved this one, and I highly recommend if you love contemporary romances. Last 2 books I read in November. I'm not going to go too into them because I did do a weekend reading vlog. I read these over the Thanksgiving Day weekend, so I did a weekend reading vlog for that. I'm not going to go too in depth on my thoughts, but I do want to talk about them. First is Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell. So I really wanted to read this in October, but my hold in the library didn't come in till November. So I was really sad about having to read this while I was in a Christmas spirit. I really loved it. It was so cute. It's a graphic novel about these 2 friends who work on a pumpkin patch together, and it's their last day before they have to go off to college. So they decide to have like one last big hurrah adventure at the pumpkin patch before they have to leave for college. And it was just so fun. The art style was really adorable, and it just really made me want to go to like a pumpkin patch. And I love that there's like an interview with the authors at the end, and they talk about how this is like an idealized version of a pumpkin patch. It's like the Disneyland of pumpkin patches. I would love to go to a pumpkin patch like this. Like, it was amazing. I loved it. If you love fall-themed graphic novels or just Rainbow Rowell in general, this was such a great one. Last, but certainly not least, Crier's Born by Nina Valeria. Oh my god. Oh my god. I actually got to meet Nina, and I did a whole vlog about it, again, in my weekend reading vlog. Hopefully it'll be up by the time this will be up, or maybe not. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It's one of the best books I've read all year. It's female human android romance. It's fantastical. It has sci-fi elements. It has dystopian elements. Enemies to lovers. Everything about this book is amazing. The writing is amazing. The characters are amazing. The world is so unique and fascinating. I love this book so much, and I could gush about it for hours, so I'm just gonna stop. And if you want to hear me more gushing about Nina and this book, definitely go watch my weekend reading vlog. That's all for this video. I did not read a lot in November, but I'm hopefully gonna turn that around for December. Comment down below what was your favorite book you read in November, and if you celebrate Thanksgiving, how was your Thanksgiving? My social media links are all down below. My Twitter, my Bookstagram, my Goodreads. Arrivederci!